But anytime we get a couple minutes with the athletic director at San Diego State, we take it. Jim, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
What are you showing us there? You got this big portrait of the battle on the Midway.
Mac from the Midway gave me the portrait that his artist, Duke Windsor,
wow.
Did, and it's just gorgeous. I'm just shocked by it. It's a neat memento of the game.
Well, was that a presentation up there? See, we've been teased because we've been here broadcasting since 12 o'clock, but we have no clue what any of you guys are talking about.
No, and luckily no one had to listen to me today either. It was just the coaches and the president, so the important people.
You know, Marty was commenting that Rocky Long really cleans up well.
He does.
I mean, he really cleaned up well. Shirt and tie, and his hair was done and everything else.
He might have had some cowboy boots under there, though.
Did he? I'm sure. You know, I know people sometimes grow a little bit skeptical of the whole bowl. You know, hey, come on, there's too many of them. But to me, and this is really what it's all about, events like this. I know you guys also help, and nobody talks about this too much, that there's local charities that are involved, 40,000 plus tickets, a week from tomorrow with the Holiday Bowl. I mean, the whole bowl experience, and especially to be able to do it in your home city. Can you just tell everybody some of the stuff that maybe we don't focus on because we're wrapped up in SDSU and BYU?
Well, it's really special, and the Redcoats are nationally recognized as a group that really are a group that makes people feel very good about coming to San Diego. And to tell you the truth, that was one of the impressions I left with when I came here in 2003. Washington State played Texas in the Holiday Bowl. I was impressed with the quality of people that were here, and I wanted to move here. Now, you know, right. San Diegans don't want any more people coming, but they'll take visitors, you know, and that's an example of the experience. And then today, the Poinsettia Bowl, every year, the Make-A-Wish Foundation has been a beneficiary of $1 for every ticket the credit union puts on, sponsors, and so they get $1 per ticket going to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And so we heard from one of the recipients today, and it's just unbelievable, great story, what a great cause, and something people that can be really, really proud about.
And that's probably the best response that you could have for somebody who says something like, you know, these bowl games, there's too many of them and they're kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
And, you know,
yeah.
Talk about, you know, not just in our city, but also to your football program. I mean, what does it mean to play in a game like this for you?
Oh, for our team, I mean, they get swag, as they call it. You know, they
stuff
get
we all get.
Yeah, all that stuff, and they went to the SeaWorld and the zoo, and they don't, as college students, as football players, they don't get to do that. You know, they don't have that kind of time and or maybe the money to do it all the time. And so it's they get to do special things. They get to spend time with their teammates and their coaches and have some fun and prepare for a serious game. And so as the week gets, the game gets closer, it gets more serious, and Rocky is a little more serious, and the team's a little more serious. But I think it's all of those things are very positive. And then Rocky, I mean, as far as the practices that they get once the season's end, and they get to play a lot of those in those 15 practices they have. A lot of the younger players scrimmage, and they get a look at how they've developed over the year and on the practice squad, and so it's beneficial to the next year's team too.
We're talking to Jim Sterk, athletic director at San Diego State. It's the Mighty 1090. You know, Jim, the other thing I think that sometimes gets a little lost is you got the night to yourself. You know, there's not a lot happening in sports, and a lot of times when you guys play during the season on Saturdays, you have a chance to get lost in the shuffle. This is you guys, stage to yourself from a football standpoint. We saw over the weekend, even that Gildan, New Mexico Bowl did better than some college basketball games, ratings-wise. And you get the eyes of the nation watching you. You don't really have a lot of competition for football on a Thursday night, and you're on ESPN. I mean, all those things matter.
I know, 2 years ago when we were here and we played Navy, I know just a lot of people that watched it. It was a great rated game, and it was on ESPN, a national game, and that time, 5 o'clock, is 8 o'clock in the Eastern time zone, so it's a great time for a football game, and people are rushing home from work on the West Coast to watch it. So,
and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I know we talked a couple weeks ago about the Vegas Bowl, Poinsettia Bowl, one versus the other. I guess the question's answered when you sell out your allotment of tickets here.
Yeah, we were we sold even more than we did 2 years ago, and sold our allotment, and then a lot of people bought theirs from the Redcoats or bought them from the bowl itself. So I think there'll be a lot of Aztecs at the game tomorrow night.
All right. So is this officially, do you anticipate this being your final game as a member of the Mountain West Conference?
I do.
We're not going to change on this one, huh?
No, nothing that I know about. Do you know something I don't know about?
No, I don't know anything that you don't, and I do, and I've laughed about this with Mike May, because, you know, obviously I went to a school, one of the 7 Catholic schools here, which is somewhat changed.
Oh, you're one of them, huh?
And I kept saying, like, is Jim going to take a swing at me because he wants to take a swing at everybody who was part of this Big East basketball coalition that left?
Right.
Did you see that coming?
Well, you know, knew that was, you know, out there. Knew there were, you know, could be some other conferences grabbing a few of the members, but really nothing has really changed as far as where the direction is. And I think Mike Oresco is back at the table with ESPN and Fox and those guys, and the 13 football schools moving forward are collectively together and ready to move forward. And really the basketball wasn't as impactful as probably the Rutgers Louisville move that the ACC and the SEC did. I mean, the Big Ten did. So that wasn't really as impactful to us. Now it makes it, you know, it probably cleans it up a little bit, because with the TV negotiations, at least 30% of the revenue was going to go to those basketball schools, and they were looking, you know, how much more they can get. So now you really have can relaunch the conference, and football is the driver behind it, and they can focus, and it'll probably be a year or 2 years. I don't know when it'll be when they actually leave, but there'll be a lot of transition over the next couple years. But the past 3 years, you know, disappointed with some of the movements made, but the last 3 years, you know, no one should be surprised what's gone on, but it is surprising.
It is crazy, and you know, and I know it must be disappointing, and you know, and you know, I'm kind of torn on this, because as an alum, I want what's best for my university, but as somebody who lives here and who's developed a good relationship with you guys, I want what's best for you guys as well, and you know, right. And I do, and I hope this works out for everybody in the long term. Do you feel like moving forward that you can trust Cincinnati and UConn in this? Because, you know, a lot of people think that they're the next two to go. Do you feel like you guys are unified and that you can – I shouldn't single them out, but they're the most notables that are mentioned for possible realignment. Do you feel like everybody's on the same page?
Well, everyone's on the same page until they get
tomorrow.
Until they get an offer from the ACC or the SEC, and before the Big Ten made their move, you know, everyone was talking. There's going to be a period of peace and calm, and then, you know, the Big Ten makes their move, or actually probably the ACC grabbing Notre Dame, and then the ACC reacting to the SEC grabbing the Maryland away from the ACC. So there's some power plays going on nationally, but until something like that happens, I think everyone's, you know, obviously committed to do that. But, you know, if someone you know, calls and they're offering you, you know, a chance to be a part of a conference that is more higher profile, then that's going to happen. And but I think there's a good group together and want to make this thing really work. And so I'm excited to rally behind Mike Oresco and the conference commissioner with it.
What do you think the conference is going to be called? I mean, it's not going to be the Big East, right?
Well, it could or it couldn't. I think that's debatable. That has to be determined. But it could be someone a lot more creative than me coming up with something. But it's still, right now, the conference has the name. And the conference we're moving into in July is the Big East. But what happens from there, I'm not sure.
I hope it is called something else, not just because of long tradition, but because I feel like that name now, it just doesn't mean. I think nationally people are like, really? Like, you know, it has a negative connotation. So I think it'd be good for you guys to find another name also.
I agree with you. I think, and that's probably a good thing as far as relaunching it. And there's some things that can be done, and with whoever the new partner is or partners, and relaunch the brand, and just like, you know, the Mountain West was created, I don't know how many years ago from the WAC. That's kind of how it's evolved, and now and just as, you know, the WAC, I mean Mountain West commissioner and the Conference USA commissioner was looking at creating a national league. This is kind of what's happened, and a few others, Cincinnati and Yukon and South Florida, you add in there, and not as many, so you don't have as many mouths to feed. So it's a positive evolution of it, with some negative things that have occurred.
We're talking to Jim Sterk, athletic director at San Diego State. Now you have BYU in town. Certainly there is a long-standing history between San Diego State and BYU. They are off. They are unaffiliated. They are on their own. Do you take this opportunity, maybe take the athletic director out for dinner, maybe sit next to him next to lunch and say, hey, how's this independence thing working for you? And would you be open to the idea, let's say, of perhaps forming a partnership somewhere down the road again?
Well, we've had that conversation earlier, so I don't need to, this week. But
well, like I said, it changes
we'll see down the road.
So you never know. Are you going to be traveling with the basketball team over Christmas?
No, I'm not. I hate to miss it, but I'm here for this, and then I have my daughter's in town from Washington, so we're going to have a little San Diego Christmas.
There you go.
Here, so
That's
I'm
not
excited.
bad for the basketball team to go out, and we're going to talk with Dutch in about an hour. Not bad for the basketball team to go out and play in that tournament, huh?
No, it's great for them, and I think they're ready to go, and hopefully they can get 3 games there and end up winning it all.
You know what's fun, Jim? Every time we get the chance to talk to you here on the radio station, it's like in like a week, I'm like, we got to get Jim Sterk back on because something has changed and something monumental has happened here with conference realignment. So I'm sure like in a week we'll probably be all sitting here going, what? They're going to the Big 12 now, or Fresno State's going to come along with them? I mean, anything could happen at this stage.
You're right. That's
except
for
for you guys staying in the Mountain West.
I just don't see that happening right now.
Okay, so you're open, but you don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening.
Is there a crack?
There's not a crack.
What if they redid the TV deal?
They'll probably do some. They are trying to do something with their TV deal, but we're committed to moving forward in the direction we're going.
I get the sense that you guys are also very, very much attached at the hip to Boise State. Is that fair?
Yeah. But if Boise would go back, I'm not necessarily sure that we would go back. That could happen, but I don't think that's going to happen. And they've said that they're moving forward. But if they did, I wouldn't necessarily say that we would.
I love it, Jim. It's good to see you. Happy holidays. I do. I think events like this. I know there's a lot of critics out there about the whole bowl structure. I mean, nothing's perfect in life. But I think that the good far outweighs the bad. And congratulations on everything you got going up at State.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate
All right,
it. Jim
you.
Sterk stopping by.